Good morning, evening, afternoon. Masati here. It's going to be a fantastic year next year. Hope you all had fantastic holidays, whatever you celebrated. I think it's really important to note that no matter what we celebrate, I think we should cherish it. We should honor other cultures, other religions, other aspects of self, because that's how we grow and expand. And well, just jumping right in, this is Masati, uh, Masati on Sunday, where we explore what humanity did right, what they did wrong, and what we can learn from them so we can move on, right? We can go forward, we can evolve as humans, personally and as a species. So here we are, the end of 2024. What will it bring you, and how you can start 2025 the proper way? Okay, so we're going to be talking about that. But the biggest thing I see looking backwards is literally a lot of individuals now are going to start to identify or separate themselves from other people. And although everybody goes, well, we're all one, we're all kind, religions, spiritual people, those individuals that want to bring us together, like the legacy media and so on, like that, your government, we all one, we all need to help each other. But then on the back end, they have ulterior motives because, well, they couldn't figure the shit out. They literally could not figure out what one is. And many of you, for example, just dropping it down to a personal level, many of you, you all want to get, you all, gosh, I was in Texas, down in Texas way too long. Anyway, I'm here in Whitefish, Montana, which is really, really beautiful, beautiful snowboarding up here. So, but back to my talk here, because we've got so much time. I just want to get as much out there as we can. Also, this is an experiential show where it's not just about me regurgitating information. I never regurgitate information from the past, from history. I hate to say it, like Jordan Peterson or any of those fantastic individuals. Again, Jordan Peterson, fantastic. We'll talk about him later. But what we're doing at an individual level, like I was saying, is that everybody wants unity. Everyone wants peace. Everyone wants the best for everybody else. Everybody wants to know the truth, as long as that truth doesn't stray from what they believe in inherently. As long as you're running my religion and you believe in what I believe, then fine. We can be friends. We can be fantastic. We can be together. But if you're not, well, God's gonna punish you. God's gonna do this to you. I'm gonna do that to you, and all that. So that's the. How many of you run that pattern at a deep, deep level where you don't even know it? As long as it's like, some guy likes Ford, some guys like Chevys. Oh, shit, if you're a Ford guy, that means you're this, this, and this, and I can't hang around people like that, right? If you're a Chevy guy, whatever Chevys believe in, it's gotten down to that point. If you watch a series, back in the day, it was like, if you took the jab or not, that's the disparity. That's an extreme example of what we're talking about. Well, tell you what, in the near future, it gets a little more intense, and I'll give you some of the reasons why it gets more intense and how you can circumvent that and just raise your XIQ and even go higher above it and see why the reason is, and again go higher above it. All right, so a lot of things to cover, guys, and then we'll get on scanning you on how you can be your best possible version of self as you get into the new year and take advantage of what's left of the old year to, well, really let go of stuff that you really don't need anymore. You really, really don't need a lot of things. So you can just bring in your beautiful, brilliant self. Steph. Hey, Steph. Looks like you're in Dubai. That's awesome. We got people from everywhere, the UK, Calgary, so which is really, really nice. We're growing. By the way, as we're growing, please subscribe, like this channel, give it to your friends, especially those you might not like. As I said, this is an experiential show. So what that means is that it's not just about what I'm talking about, and what I talk about. It's a very deeper level of knowledge. That deeper level of knowledge. I sense that there's a lot of new people logging in, so I'm just going to talk a bit. That level of knowledge is literally where it doesn't come from this realm. It comes from an observed realm outside of this physical plane. I had 3 near-death experiences. The first 2 really, really allowed me to understand this reality from a different perspective. Okay, think of it this way: when you're kids, when you're a kid, or when you see kids, they have their own, say, sphere of knowledge, right? They have their own sphere of knowledge that they think about. As parents, you get to see, say, the bigger, broader sphere of, say, the world, rather than a kid's point of view or a teenager's point of view, or somebody that has, say, a certain framework. They've got horse blinders on. They've got a certain framework that they look at. So that concept, or that idea, or if have, say, more intelligence or more experience in some field more than others, right? You can see where they look, how they look at, or what reality or what filters they look from. All right. So most humans, because they haven't had a near-death experience, again, outside of time and space, they can only see one dimension of time and space. This is the physical reality here. Even science, even religions, those religions were created in one, say, aspect of science and space, time and space. What you want to do is you want to expand into, say, a multidimensional realm, a multidimensional self, and look at a higher level, just like from a parent to a child. We've all been there, right? We've all been there. We've been kids before, and then as we grow up, it's like, oh shit, that's how it really works. That's how, right? We all grow and expand. The best way to, say, find possible solutions for you, better solutions that not only, say, affect your life, but solutions that are so profound that they simply transform, say, your children's life, the lives of loved ones around you. How many in the audience, again, comment in, as you've changed, the people around you have changed? Have you noticed that? Have you observed that? Again, this is a this is a great dialogue. So, and I read the comments, guys. So we can have a nice dialogue, nice chat here. On top of that, it's about the frequencies. In the near future, you'll start to understand, and it's happening right now. They're pouring billions and billions, I would say, close to trillions, especially with quantum computing. They're pouring in billions on understanding frequencies, right? And not just, there's epigenetics, there's frequencies or vibes of somebody, there's other types of photography, there's where you listen to a certain frequency, the God frequency or earth frequency. Those are all great, but those are still of this, say, this one dimension of self, right? What we're talking about is inception frequencies, and that's a term that I've coined. Inception frequencies are the origin of frequencies. So those are they are the beginning of the frequencies. Right? Like if you dropped a pebble into an ocean, right? The pebble or the rock or the boulder that you're dropping into the ocean that will create waves. That's what we want to focus in on, and that's what XI is literally all about. It's like, what kind of pebble or what shaped pebble are you dropping in to the sea of consciousness? That pebble dictates who you are, how fantastic you're going to live, or how crappy your life is. Right? You can make $1 billion. You can do all the technologies. You can do Neuralink in your brain to enhance you, and you can what they do to create superhumans or whatever they call it. It's going to be devastating. If you look at any technology that's been benevolent, if you look at any of you who have, say, been really kind to people, right? No matter how much love you pour into the world, what's happened to it? Anything that's been benevolent, in fact, the more benevolent, the more insidious it gets, the more it destroys society. Okay? Now, I know this is a heavy subject, okay, for you all. Okay. All right. But I'm talking about this because many of you XIers are releasing these deep, heavy patterns. Right? So again, if you're on the show and you're going, God, this guy's really heavy. It's like, yeah, because I tap into the audience, whether you're listening here live, that's what I base it on. And then those who will listen to this recording afterwards. You all are about to leave, you know, all the old patterns behind and then start fresh. It's like going to Mars, starting a whole new civilization. It's totally different. Your environment is different, right? How many of you are in that, by the way? How many are you in that space? It's like, yep, it's time to let go of this and sail off to bigger, brighter futures. How many are you on that? Comment in. By the way, you do not have to have a near-death experience. I've had plenty myself. I've learned a lot. I've learned the science because there were conscious near-death experiences. That you don't have to have a near death, guys. I've charted the way. I've given you, a fantastic handbook. A lot of you are in that zone, right? You're starting here. Here are some of the say symptoms that you might experience. You've moved on. You've seen yourself go, and you look at society, and you're not entangled in society, right? Like you look at the CEO shooting, right? Or what happened to P. Diddy. And you just look at it and you're an observer of that situation. It doesn't like rile you up. It doesn't go, oh my God, the CEO, this and this and this. And you don't even, it's not that you don't care. It's just like, you know what? I'm done with that aspect of myself. I don't no longer hold on a complementary frequency that ties me to that bullshit that's happening there. It's like kind of like kids, it's just like they argue. It's like I'm out of this argument, that kind of deal. But there's no anger or anything. That's the difference. There's just like, oh my God, that's who I was. I don't want that anymore. Again, that's the symptom of it. It's like, yep, this society does not need that. And then also along with that, you start to see whether it's the CEO, whether it's P. Diddy, whether you'll see a lot of strange shit happening, by the way, guys, coming up. Okay. And this is, and I'll give you more the reasons why. But as you have increased your XIQ, you'll start to see that. You'll start to see that. You look at it, you move away from it, and you go, "Yep." And then the cool thing is that you're not afraid to look inwards. That's the next step on your evolutionary process of being an elevated human that actually can, say, transform society. Because yes, one person can shift and transform. Look at me, shift tens of thousands of people around the world, right? You can do it as well. With all your help, we can even increase and expand more. But you'll start to see all that bullshit and you go, God, was I part of that stuff? Was I part of that CEO? What resonant frequency was in me that allowed me to be in the world where a CEO got shot, a young kid with brilliant future fucks it up for himself, right? Basically, that's what he did, right? So it's like, what part of me resonated with that society, what with that consciousness? If an alien came down and looked at this and was like, shit, man. So you would consider yourself aliens as like, not part of that. But again, there's no, there's no like, these guys are fucked up. Although, that consciousness, as you elevate yourself, you'll see that, they go, yeah, they're fucked up. But then you also have, say, a nurturing sense of going, they're only children. They've got beautiful potential, but they don't know who they really are. A lot like your children that are, on drugs or suicidal or whatever. You see the brilliant potential of your child, but if only they could see it for themselves, you're going to see that as you step away from society and create a whole different society of your own. Does that make sense for y'all? Who's in that new ship right now? Again. Okay. So this is what we're going to be talking about. It's a beautiful space. Guys, take a breath in. Like I said, this is not just a talk here. This is experiential. So many of you, even if you are new, are you feeling a lot lighter? Right? These are the frequencies that I'm talking about. With my abilities, through the near deaths that I've had, it's allowed me, say, to shift and transform you well, way more than, Tony Robbins or Joe Dispenza or any of those other techniques, which are really fantastic in this world, but you are of another world. You are of a higher dimension. Okay. So I work on that world or that identity of yourself, the super intelligence that's created you. I work at that level. Okay. The potential that exists deep within these fantastic guys like Joe Dispenza and whoever else. They work at this level. They work at the brain level. I don't work at the brain level. I work at your core level frequencies for you on who you are. Okay. So you've got a better tool set to conquer this reality with those fantastic individuals like a Tony Robbins and Joe Dispenza and Assad Guru and all those in Jordan Peterson, all those fantastic individuals with great intellect of this physical space. They've got great intellect of this physical space, right? I have great intellect on how this space was created and how you were created. So that's the difference. Together, very, very complementary. All right, guys. Pretty exciting and a lot of great feedback. Thanks, guys. Thanks for that. Absolutely locked into the new world. I've disconnected from a lot of old patterns, nirvana. Um, Forgive them, Father, for not what they know. Exactly. Exactly. So pretty amazing stuff, right? And again, it's not a mental state. I didn't hypnotize you or anything like that. It goes way beyond. A lot of scientists, they come and check my frequencies out. It's like, oh, the guy just changed. It was hypnosis, or he Googled you, he researched you on Google, and now he's, no, my abilities don't work like that. Like I said, at the end, we'll talk about how your specific frequency. I'll scan you all and go through the process. Okay, on what you can do specifically, one on one. I'll read you all. All right, so here we go, guys. So today on Masati on Sunday, we'll discuss these three themes. Why people are searching for something new. Right? Kind of discuss that a little bit. We'll go more into it. The upheaval in the world is a symptom of collective evolution, or how, and then how fast old systems will be obsolete. It's quite amazing that, the third one, how fast old systems will become obsolete. So first one, people. People are searching for something new. If you've looked at since COVID, okay, COVID, whether it's a conspiracy or not, I'm not here to talk about it, but let's use it as a tool to expand who we are. Okay? It doesn't matter who did it, who started it, whatever. Okay, this is a lot like, people argue about, well, did Jesus, was he crucified? Did he actually die? Did he actually come back? It's like, who cares? Who cares? If you really want to know the answer, instead of fighting amongst you at a very low level where you don't know shit anyway, okay? You really want to know the answer? You really want to know the answer? Elevate your XIQ. Go to a higher level of understanding on how all that stuff works. And you go, oh shit, man. And then you'll start to know. The higher you are, closer to, say, a Jesus frequency or a God frequency, the more you'll understand the logic behind it. It's very simple. The more you understand something, right? Like if you're like a journeyman, you're beginning your journey on, a particular trait like metallurgy or whatever, and then you become a master. It's a very, very different. We're here as journeymen, guys. We don't have the knowledge to understand that kind of stuff. Okay. And this is where people, and this is what I'm talking about, people are searching for something new. Okay. This is just one example. Okay. People look at wealth and they go, well, if you make a lot of money, if you make a lot of money, you're going to go to hell. You're going to go to hell. Your partners with the devil, and all that dark stuff. But then people need money to survive, so they sell their souls to create money. How fucked up is that? Those kind of concepts, right? Or the religions, you pray 5 times a day, you go to church every Sunday. How many of you have done that and your lives are still fucked up, right? So what's the consistency? There's no science behind any of that. There's no science behind science, right? 10 years ago, they go, this is the valid truth. This is the truth. And then 10 years after they go, yeah, because of new instrumentation, because of new knowledge. Sorry, guys, that was fucked up. You know, what we believed in is totally the opposite, right? So again, if you guys want to know the truth behind all that, what do you got to do? Elevate your XIQ, go to a higher level of understanding of how this reality works. And oh, shit, that's the truth. Simple as that. Okay. You can't just mix around, and this is what AI is used, which is crazy ass shit. You can't just just rearrange facts and go, okay, this is the truth, because it's the same facts. Kind of like my mom, we had leftovers, and then she'd make something else which tastes fantastic. But again, she was a great cook, but it was the same leftovers as the other night. She just turned it into something new. That's what people are using AI for. How insane is that, by the way? Okay. All right. So let's take a deep breath in. All right. So you all are searching for something new. That's why you're here. The reason why is because you're not a journeyman anymore. Humanity is collectively waking up to the limitations of old systems and beliefs. So many, especially the reason why you're here, many are seeking tools and frameworks that go beyond superficial fixes to create better lives for themselves and the world. That's why you're here. Exactly. That is why you're here. That's why I call it meta science now. And I'll explain why meta science. But XI meta science offers you this new blueprint for evolution, which guides you, individuals, societies into higher states of awareness and abundance. So XI doesn't teach you what to think, what the facts are. XI teaches you, gives you how to think. XI restructures you to think that optimal state. XI teaches you. Have you ever had or read stories of those individuals who had like a near death experience and they've come back with brilliant knowledge, right? They go, shit, or they come back with like, a language that they've, like French. They speak fluent French. It's like crazy, right? So again, XI teaches you how to think, or XI teaches you how to access what out there that can tap into the intelligence of the universe. Right? And as you do that, you can use that tool to become, well, superhuman, I would call it, right? Or a human that's limitless potential, and then use it to rearrange this world the way it should be. Quite beautiful, isn't it? That's what you want to do. That's why you all, right? That's why society in today is awakening. Society today is awakening. You all are not, to use that example, a journeyman. God, what's the next phase? There's a journeyman, there's a craftsman, and then there's a mastery level, right? So journeyman is somebody who's really, really new into this space, right? And then you become a craftsman. You understand the knowledge a bit more, right? You're very fluent with it, and then you become a master. You're an observer, and then you create. You create, say, better scenarios or better logistics on how to improve your craft. So many people are awakening and going, shit, you know what? We've done human quite a bit, quite long, hundreds of thousands of years. I know millions of years. I know humans go back way beyond that. It's like, we don't want to be a journeyman anymore. We want to be mastery of this realm. Right? We want to be mastery of this realm. And that's why many of you are awakening. And this is where it's like, there's something better out there. How many people know that there's something better out there? How many people knew that there was something better out there when you were a kid and you're looking around and you're going, shit, man, mom and dad, man, why aren't they practicing what they should be? You have two handbooks when you're a kid. It's like, I know it should be this way, but why is mom and dad practicing this way? And then you go out in society, you get 6, 7 years old, you look at TV, you look at social media and stuff, and it's like, damn, why are they practicing this? And it should be this way, right? Crazy stuff. You all knew it. We all knew it, but then we couldn't do anything about it because our adults, our society, our leaders, our intelligent people didn't know. They just didn't know. So that's the crazy stuff, right? And then we search, but we search in the same bucket as everybody else who searched. All the great intellects who searched. We searched in the same bucket. We searched in the same box. Well, what are you going to get? It's like, I guess this is all there is, right? And then how many of you have lost something and you've searched and searched and searched? That's where humanity is. And it's like, I can't find it here, hon. And then, your spouse or your parents or whoever go, well, honey, did you look there in that other room? And it's fucking sitting right there for you. How many of you have done that? I know I've done that. Right? My kids have done that. It's like, it's literally fucking right there. Right? That's the way humanity's, say, solution sets are. Literally, that's so simple. It's like, this is all there is. I guess we have to put this and this and this together to create something. It's like, no, we just have to look at a different dimension of self. And as we do that, and that's what we've done, this is why the upheaval in the world is happening. By the way, this is why all the bullshit that's coming out, all the lies, all the distortions, whether that's at a global level with global leaders, you'll see a lot of stuff coming out from global leaders down to your religious leaders, down to the people who you adore and admire, like P. Diddy and many, who's it? Harvey Weinstein was back in the day, right? It's old news. You'll see that, more and more of that stuff come out. You'll see all the lies come out because you are searching somewhere else. It's not because the news media is choosing to give that information to you. The news media knew that shit already. But since you're awakening to the truth, they have to give it to you. There's enough evidence. That's the beauty of an open internet. Okay? And hence the upheaval in the world today. This is why the upheaval in the world today. Oops. Sorry, guys. This is why the upheaval in the world today is happening. The upheaval in the world today is a symptom of the collective evolution. So, what that means is that as you've stepped out, searching from the box that doesn't hold your solutions, you're looking into another room. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. You all, again, comment in. It's like once you've elevated your XIQ, right? You all look, it's like, oh my God, that's why my past was that way. That's why I got abused so often. That's why this happened. I was talking to a good friend of mine's young daughter. She's 21 years old. Had a couple sessions with me, and she's starting to realize it's like, oh my God, I've been running these crazy patterns of how people, and she's telling me, it's like, I can't believe how now that I see the pattern, and this is how you can tell your XIQ has been elevated. I can't believe how I'm running a pattern. You're not blaming others, but it's like, shit, I can't believe how I'm running that pattern that allowed me to get into the situations and attract boys that didn't treat me very well. And I'm going, this kid's only 21 years old. I'm going, holy shit, how brilliant. I have to talk to like 40, 50, 60-year olds. They're multimillionaires or billionaires, and they still go, the world needs to change. This needs to change. I'm going, what's it in you? If you, especially at that level, what is it in you that allows you, okay, to run the world that way, especially if you're at that level of leadership, right? And people still go, well, we need to change this. Society isn't like that anymore. Hence the upheaval in the world, right? And the system and all that we're seeing is that a lot of people are awakening, which is really cool. So the chaos we see globally it isn't a random, say, event. It's the result of a long overdue awakening in consciousness. It's really beautiful. So just to give you an example, somebody has a heart attack at 55, right? All right. Well, that heart attack at 55 actually started when you're in 20, formed from decades earlier. Again, the issue of your heart attack at 55 started in your 20s. It's just showing its ugly head, right? This is what's happening. So today, globally, upheaval is the result of, God, what, eons of unconscious living. And if you don't elevate your XIQ, well, you're unknowingly contributing to these challenges. No matter what you believe in or possess, again, no matter how much money you have, no matter what concept or idea or solution that you're going to bring in, people are going to go like Elon Musk is like, AI and this and that, obviously, he says, that AI is going to kill the world. He actually is. He's very intuitive. And the reason why is like, shit, you know what, at a very deeper level, he might not be consciously aware of what he's saying, but basically it's like, shit, you know what, he's very intuitive on on the inside, and is like, damn, you know what, if we continue with where we are today and then bring on new tools, and previous tools have destroyed us in the past, AI is going to destroy us. It's just very simple math, guys. And that's what's going to happen. A lot of people go, oh, no, this tool is going to save us. It's like, well, it depends on how you use that tool. And that's what we're recognizing. So this upheaval, it's a powerful opportunity to recognize our past dysfunctions and step into an elevated state of being. Right? And once we do, which is really, really beautiful, once we do, the old systems will become obsolete. Old systems will become obsolete so fast. You won't believe how fast. Thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, religions, governments, laws, science, methods for creating wealth and health are becoming outdated in this new consciousness. Again, and it's not about judging these systems as, yeah, they're fucked up, they're right or wrong, but recognizing that their limitations in the face of an evolving humanity, it's just not going to work. It got us to this point, but we need a new set of tools to navigate this elevated reality. Right? And XI Metascience is actually leading the way. Right? We're breaking into say new realms. Just applied for the X Prize. Thank you for all those individuals for handing in. We got hundreds of surveys back, so thank you so much, guys, for adding that on. But again, applying X Prize, health and rejuvenation, right? Whole new frequency. I was looking at all the other teams, really fantastic teams. Invasive methods, right, and all that, telomeres and all, which is really, really fantastic. We need all that, but we need to change our frequency for those things to work. That's really, really the key, which is fantastic. All right. So what do we have in store? So right now, 2024 is about understanding, looking in a different box for your solutions. You'll find it there, again, by elevating your XIQ. So what do we have in 2025? Well, it's a new beginning. Like I said, once you awaken, again, don't listen to me. Just look at the comments and look at you. Once you awaken, have you noticed that you let go of all those old patterns that you thought were you? Like, it's like, shit, my religion. You see it from a very different perspective, or the way you see things, you thought it's like inherent part of you, but it's not, right? It's not part of you anymore. And you change so dramatically. Kind of crazy, right? Carolyn will get into the scanning right after this, okay? All right, so what do we have for 2025? Okay, some of the tools that we've got, but to elevate your consciousness, that's coming in. Okay? Again, we're not creating the consciousness, although we're part of it, right? There's new consciousness that comes through. We're elevating. Time and space is changing. It's becoming more and more efficient. The tools that we have for XI, fantastic tools to say, hold on or grab on to the wave of the new consciousness that's coming in. That's how you transform you, your loved ones, and then humanity as a whole. Okay. All right. I love this, Lola. It's like a rocket taking off. Lola has a crazy experience. Without XI, I don't think she'd be around here, by the way. Right, Lola? Comment 10, sweetie. Crazy stories. Unbelievable stories. Transformational stories, guys, from where they were to where they are now. Amazing stories. That can happen to all of us as a whole as we awaken. So in 2025, what do we have? So we've got a lot of new things coming up, guys. A lot of you have been asking. It's like, hey, what are you going to be doing in 2025? Okay, so this is what I'm going to be doing, guys, and this is what you can. This is what you can do as well, again, to elevate your consciousness. 2025 is the year XI becomes the blueprint for transformation. Literally, this is where a lot of even the scientists, like I said, quantum science, things that people go, it's way out there. It doesn't affect my life. It does affect your life, by the way. So quantum mechanics, quantum science is starting to look at, say, the concept or the world of frequencies, There's a lot of science behind that. Even they're looking at it. So it's becoming more and more valid, which is really cool. In again, human development, diseases, transformational stories. Again, people are looking at frequencies, not just XI, but we are the leaders of inception frequencies, the top level frequencies. So, um, you know, exponential intelligence, we started 14 years ago, and, and now evolving into a foundational science of the universe. That's why I call it XI meta science. Okay, it literally provides a handbook to understanding timeless principles, guiding you into mastering time, space, and consciousness. Again, that's where transformation starts, and we're already achieving breakthroughs. Like I said, in creations and human performance, optimization, healthy aging, rejuvenation. Gosh, I don't know. You comment in on how you've transformed addictions, right? Diseases, new solutions for curing diseases, quantum computing, conscious AI. We can all, again, as we elevate, we can have conscious AI. So XI is poised to really reshape every aspect of human understanding, hence a meta science. If you've ever wondered why Google changed their name to Meta, because it's an overarching science, right? It's an overarching theme, basically, that say dominates the world. Okay? Yeah, I didn't choose meta science because of that. Although Google obviously wants to dominate this world, we choose. I chose meta science, exponential intelligence, meta science, because meta science is like the science of studying science. Right? So meta science, again, it's a science of understanding or studying science, what they did right, what they did wrong, and then how we could improve and expand on that. It's an overarching science, right? So that overarching science has been around here for, I don't know, way before time and space ever happened. So that's a science that XI taps into. That's a science that you should tap into, right? That's the science that scientists should tap into to find real solutions. All right. So we've got some programs that are coming up. Many of you are excited. They go, hey, MOS, what's going on next year? Especially a lot of new people, right? What have we got for events coming up? So there's a couple things that we can do. One, the XI code coming up 2025. It's a 10-day program. The XI code, it's a blueprint to wealth and healing. It's 10 days to activate infinite abundance and power. Actually, 10 days through frequencies. So again, it's 10 days to help you activate your new sense of self. That's coming up, I think, in January. Okay? It's an online program. It's deep state hyper meditations, not your normal meditations. That'll set you for the next year and beyond. Right? Before you do your your New Year's resolutions, which, have you noticed that New Year's resolutions, you set it up and then by the third, fourth week of January, you're back to your old self? Why does that happen? Okay. This 10 days will transform you where that doesn't happen anymore. The reason why is because your core level of who you are didn't change. Your surface level of who you are changed. It's like putting on a different set of makeup, a different makeup, redoing your hair. Your internal self stayed the same, right? Or guys, you grow a beard or they shave your head or whatever. It's like you're still the guy on the inside. You didn't change much. Right? Same thing here. Those 10 days will transform your inner core to whatever you do later, which I would suggest doing your New Year's resolutions after you do the course. Because once you do that, you're a whole different being. And a lot of times, a lot of the solutions or a lot of reasons why you set up those resolutions, you probably achieved already. Right? You can go on to bigger and better things. Right? You can go on to looking at different solutions. So again, it's really a transformative way to reset for the new year. So this program is designed to unlock you at a multidimensional level of self. So multidimensional abundance and healing. All right. All right. So maybe the team can put that on there. All right. So we've got some trips coming up, which is really, really exciting for us. I've got invited to speak and attend these trips, which these are private events, but will bring you in. So private trips to unlock ancient wisdom. This next year for me is literally going back and resetting the original core of who we are as humans. So in 2025, we'll go on profound journeys to some of the world's most sacred and transformative locations. And you all are invited to join me online or in spirit. Right? So as we access the truth of these hidden ancient sites, mid-February, we have Egypt coming up. Right, a lot of great information in Egypt, a lot of, say, information that has been passed on throughout the centuries and they've been diluted. For example, if I tell you a story and then you tell 10 people, that 10th person might have a whole different story than what I told you, right? So that's how fast it gets messed up. That's real time. So imagine that you've got, I don't know, tens of thousands of history buried and then shifted and transformed. And, there wasn't any writing utensils back then. So it was all from memory, right? A lot of religions started back then in Jerusalem, Egypt, all those areas, right? What was the real truth behind it? So my journey, my mission for next year is literally going back to those ancient sites. Egypt, mid-February, we explore areas of ancient wisdom, and some of these places it's not even accessible to the public. We'll go into deep state hyper meditations, into ancient temples, unlocking again powerful activations. And if it's internet permitting, okay, you can join me live. Otherwise, we'll tell you a time and then we'll connect via spirit. Okay, that's always on. And then China, again, another private event. I've been invited back to China mid-March. It's a journey into the heart of the Taoist monasteries to access ancient truths. So hyper meditations. Can you imagine me doing hyper meditations? Even if you're not there, how many of you have done that before, right? Like last year, we went to some Buddhist temple and we did some meditations there. How many of you felt the frequencies of Buddha running through into, and you feeling it, and you actually literally being pulled into space and time? That's what we're going to be doing because these are private events for us, right? But I want to bring you in because I want a family to go and explore the next generation, right? So again, we're going to go into the Taoist, a lot of great knowledge, but what was the real knowledge? Not the written knowledge that might have been shifted. What do they always say? History's been written by the conquerors, right? I want the truth. I want the real knowledge. So that's what we're going to get into. So we're going to have a course on, we're going to have a, take a look at that. It's not up and running yet, but we'll get that up to you. Okay. Now, there is one thing you can join me, the original core, Africa. Right? I know a lot of you are excited because you've signed up. I'm excited too. But Africa in September. It's a special trip to the cradle of civilization, right? Africa has been known for the cradle of a civilization where humanity's origin story began. Africa literally holds the key to unlocking worldly wealth and universal wisdom. That's why we're going there. Okay, it's all first class, guys. Africa is a safari's first class. It's way over the top because you deserve it. You are great beings here. You deserve that. That's why that's our own trip that you can join. Okay, so I don't know how much space we have, but it's about redefining who we are as a species. They say that we'll explore a lot of things. By the way, we explored the truth of Adam's origins. Right? They say Adam and Eve was origin. Had its origins there. We'll tap into the true purpose of humanity and our collective potential. That's what we're all, it's going to be a fantastic year, guys. It's a transformation. We need to go back, and I'm the guy to do it. We need to go back into the origin, right? Tap in and find out the truth of what really happened in history. That's why we're going to all those places and a few more, by the way, in between. I get invited to a lot of things now, which is really cool. And I want to bring all you into it. Okay. And again, some of them are private events, some of them are events, but even the private events, I want to bring you guys into it. Okay? A lot of great knowledge. So as a closing thought, guys, 2025, it isn't just another year. This is a prophecy, guys. It's been prophesized. This is the prophecy. This is when time is shifting. Right? In all the religions, they talk about a time, a new beginning of time. This is it. by the way. Again, it's not another year. It's a year of transformation. Through Axine Metascience, will unlock timeless principles, elevate human consciousness, and redefine what it means to thrive, not survive, to thrive as a species. The future isn't something to wait for, by the way, guys. It's something you create. Again, the future is not something to wait for. You're creating it every moment. You want to know, you want to have the tools to create it properly. All right, guys. All right. We've got perfect timing, guys. We'll take about 10 minutes, and we'll read some of you guys. When is the next human upgrade? Yes. So in January, thanks for that, Ivy. You want to take the 10-day hyper meditation, guys. We're restructuring human upgrade to make it even more powerful for you. Okay. The next human upgrade is in April. So this is going to be tying a lot of you down the January 10-day. Okay. And it's fantastic. It's a whole different system. So you want to take that. And in February and March, we'll do some other things to prepare you for April. And the reason why we did it, not just because of timing, but April is a time of planting. It's a time of new generation. So from now on to, the April, just preparing you, disconnecting you from all the old stuff, setting you up with new tools, new concepts, new ideas of self, again, to navigate the new consciousness. You need that. And then in April, what we'll do is create, say, abundance, or plant the seed for your abundance. So you're on, say, that ship to abundance. All right. So as a note, guys, as I read you, scan you, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a financial analyst or anything. I'm just one crazy guy that thinks I can actually read you and then help you through the internet. All right. So here we go. Let's take a look at some of your comments. Scan, please, for 2025. Was it Barb Portal? Yeah. So for you, Hun, specifically, and so I scanned what's happening again, and we'll get more and more into that, more and more specifics on, say, what Trump's doing, what Elon's doing, what a lot of other people are doing, and so on like that, right? What holds for future. That's what Masati Sunday is about, right? Keeping you up to date on what they did wrong, what they did right, and how to do it properly. All right. So Barb, you for 2025, you're actually, it seems like you're having a second chance on life. You've always been held back, especially by male frequencies. And that male frequency, again, your mom could have been dominant. So I see her as a masculine frequency, but it's just like there's always something that you wanted to do, but then it's like you get pulled into another direction. Say that you get married. Oh yeah, that's a big one. You got married. How many of you are Barb's pattern, by the way? Take a breath in, Barb. So what you do basically is like, how many of you like Barb? So if you're like Barb or similar to that, I'll work on you all as a group, okay, to disconnect you from that. All right. So we can learn from Barb's experience, because that's what we should be doing as humans. Take a breath in, Barb, and anybody else. So Barb's patterns is literally like, gosh, I know I'm going this way. I'm going to go in this direction and I'm going to get X, Y, and Z. It'll be great for me. But then it's like you hook up with somebody, like you get married and it's all of a sudden it's like, whoa, oh, it's like shit. And then you get lost. That's what Barb has done in her life. It's like, shit, what the fuck happened? And then her marriages and all that stuff is like, it might be good, but again, it's like she didn't reach her full potential. So in this case, you're resetting yourself, Barb. You're resetting. It's like, gosh, I get to go back and do some of the things that I wanted to do in the past. So with XI, you can go do that. So congratulations, Barb. Go for it. Just don't look back. All right. Again, you can do it. You literally can do it. Let's see here. There's Jennifer Powell. Please scan my father. He eats a lot, like filling a hole. Thanks, Masati. Yeah, see, it's crazy. People like your father, he's never felt really, really good enough, never felt complete. So a lot of times people will do crazy things. This next year, guys, crazy, crazy stuff as your underlying frequencies become physical frequencies. Okay, so your father, you're right, never felt complete. Your father, basically, no matter what he did back in the day, was never good enough. He was never good enough, and there's kind of like a religious tone to him. So so it's like shit. You're sinning all the time. Basically, that's the way your father runs. So in this case, if you're a deep hole or you feel like you have a void happening for you. Okay. By the way, is this who is this? Jennifer? Yeah. So Jennifer, you have filled that void deep in you. Okay. Now you're seeing that void in your father. Do you see where you got it? Okay. So basically, that void will represent itself in physical form. By the way, that's just one example. If you have other frequencies behind you, okay, that are dictating this reality, those frequencies will literally be shown to you. So in this case, like your father, uh, just a deep void inside. How does he fill that void? It's like you just keep eating, thinking that that's going to solve it. Okay. Physically, it might turn into, say, issues where he can't absorb foods. His low. I'm not a doctor, but it seems like his lower intestines, the last half of his intestines, does not absorb proper food. So you want to, so you might just, it could be easy as like a upper intestinal cleanse from what I'm seeing. So that's the physical feature, but frequency wise or spiritual, it's like, I need more, I need more. And it's not just food, it's everything. He just needs to consume a lot. He literally feels like he's literally slipping away from life. Okay. He's getting sucked into a black hole. This is Vandana Patel, Lois Scan Vandana. So everybody has an IP address. I'm not psychic. I don't need your picture. I don't need your real name or anything. But your frequency behind what you say commented, I can tap into. Right? Kind of crazy stuff, right? But that's the world of inception frequencies. All right. So Vandana, it seems like you can never get what you want. It's like no matter what you try, you never get what you want. It started from, say, a young child. A young child, it's like, I want this, I want this, I want this, and your mother or your father, a feminine frequency, takes it away from you, which is kind of weird, right? You want something, you cherish something, and then it's taken away from you to control you. So that's the kind of pattern. What you say indoctrinated for you, unfortunately, Bandana, is just like, it's like, I can never get what I really want. I can never get what I really want. In this case, take a breath in, and you and everybody else, Bandana and anybody else that runs this pattern, no matter what you get, it's like, I want this, I want this, I want this. You get it, and it's like, oh shit, it didn't solve my problem. So your problem, Bandana, is literally that you. It's like you think the next moment is going to save you. This moment is like you're drowning and you're dying. So it's a reciprocal pattern, kind of vicious actually, in some cases, because a lot of times it's like, shit, I feel like I'm dying if I don't get it, and then again when you do get it, it's like it doesn't satisfy you, right? So take a breath in, hon. Let's just stop that. Underlying reason for this is that you're slipping away from time, right? The current moment is like not worth anything because you wanted, say, the present or whatever back in the day, right? How many kids are like that, by the way? Right? They don't care about the present moment. They just want this. And then once they get it, it's like, fuck. So that's your pattern, Bandana. So what I did for you basically is like, wait a second, the present moment is just fine. Yeah, I want that in the future, but where I am now is fine. That's the huge, it's a nuance, but it's a huge difference, right? Because you accept the present moment as whole. And since you're creating the next moment for yourself, the next moment will be great and wholeness. Again, the 10-day um, wealth and power meditation that I talked about will be fantastic for you. Okay. Uh, Born again, yes. Born again, you are breathwork, fantastic. Yes. So you've done a lot of things in your life back in the day. XI has put all those things that you've learned, the missing piece, the XI code. You found the code to put all those things together and actually benefit you, which is really fantastic. So congratulations for you on that. Chelsea, scan me, please. When I sense you, Chelsea, there's two of you, or there were two of you. Or, so back in the day, it's almost like you had two identities, two personalities, or it's like do I do this or do I do that? You can't make a decision. So now what you've done, Chelsea, which is really fantastic. Breath in, hon. What you've done is like literally separated yourself. It's like now there's two of you, and then the original you, the real you, is looking. It's like, wait a second, where did this other version come from? Right. So you've done a great job through XI. Before you were all merged together. A lot of you are kind of like that, right? Merged with your parents, your mom, dad, whoever, grandparents, right? You've merged in, and your life is not your own, basically. Now, what you've done, just like Chelsea, what you can do is like you can separate yourself, right? You're integrated, right? This is where Chelsea, it's like you want to do a lot of things, but you seem like you're on a railroad track, and you can't deviate from, say, a pattern. It's because it's not your life. Okay. Now what you're doing is literally like, shit, this is my mom's pattern, or whoever. It's a female frequency. I think you might have had you had an aunt that passed away. Can't tell if it's on the female side, frequency side. Could be your father. Your father feels a little feminine to me. His sister might have passed away, or your mom's sister might have passed away. Basically, that aunt, say, wrapped into you somehow, or the consciousness of that aunt, the genetics, or you inherited those genetics. So now you're separating yourself, and you're going, gosh, you know what? That was somebody else. That's my mom's. That's my dad's. That's, those are those patterns, right? You also absorb your friends' patterns, by the way, as well. You hang around people too long, you morph into them, Chelsea. So what you're doing now, like I said, fantastic, is you're creating an identity of your own. You can always learn from them, but you don't have to lose your own identity. So nice job. Really nice job. All right. This will go into this one, Chris Lynn. Bone scan, please. Yeah. So Chris, it's interesting when I see you, even when before you said bone scan. So in that case, it's almost like you have, I don't know if you took care of your grandfather or grandmother, or what happened was when you were really young, like I want to say 1 or 2 years old, you 1 or 2 years old, your grandparents died. One of your grandparents died. Okay? So in that case, it created like a portal opening of death, and you got locked in, and so hence you feel a lot older than what you are, basically. So you're running, say like you're 2 years old, your grandfather 80 years old, right? So basically over time your bone structure literally starts to decay or age faster than your physical age. Does that make sense? So again, with XI, can't guarantee it, but other people who've done that, they start to age backwards and so on. So, all right, guys. All right, guys. So as we end, I know there's going to be a lot of fantastic things happening, guys. As you see the darkness of the world coming out, okay, just note that it's the purity of who you are, that you have removed yourself. You've purified yourself of the darkness that's coming out in the world. Okay, that's why you're seeing the darkness. So hold on to the brilliance of who you are. Don't dive or don't jump back into the darkness, the pool of darkness, back of the world. Again, move forward. Back. It's a great opportunity for you all to say expand. This is the time that we've always been waiting for. Right? So again, thanks guys. Notice what you notice the details. All right, please.